They say grief brings people closer. But what if it tears away the mask of someone you thought you knew best? What if, in the middle of your own heartbreak, you uncover something so dark and unsettling that silence is no longer an option? This is the story of what happened after my mother died and why I had to walk away from my father, the man who raised me. Losing my mother felt like someone had ripped out the center of my world. She wasn't just my mom, she was the warmth in our home, the balance in every argument, the light in every dark corner. Her laugh could fill a room, and her quiet strength kept my father, Daniel, grounded. When cancer took her, the silence she left behind wasn't peaceful. It was suffocating. At first, I told myself my father was grieving, the way anyone would. He stopped laughing. He stopped talking. The man who once fixed every broken thing in our house seemed to crumble overnight. I'd find him sitting by the living room window for hours, staring out at nothing, his coffee cold, his meals untouched. His frame grew thinner. His voice, when it came, was soft and distant, like he was speaking from another world. I couldn't stand to see him fade. So I stepped in. I started cooking his favorite dishes the way Mom used to. I dusted the shelves, folded the laundry, made sure the house still felt alive. I thought I was keeping us both together. I thought I was helping him heal. But slowly, something began to shift, something I couldn't name at first. He started asking me to stay longer in the evenings. He'd hold my hand a little too long when I placed his dinner plate in front of him. I brushed it off, telling myself he just needed comfort, the closeness of someone familiar. But then one night, I caught him watching our old family videos. Mom's laughter spilled out from the television, warm and haunting. He smiled, then turned to me. "You look just like her," he whispered. I forced a smile. "She was my mom." He nodded, but the way his eyes lingered on me made my skin prickle. It wasn't just a father missing his wife. There was something else there. From then on, it only got worse. He called for me constantly, even if I was just down the hall. If I mentioned going out, his voice would tighten. "Why do you need anyone else? I'm right here." He began complimenting me in ways that felt wrong. "You remind me of her," he'd murmur. But it wasn't just fondness, it was laced with something heavier, something I didn't want to admit. The breaking point came when Ethan, a longtime family friend, stopped by to check in. He had been around since I was a kid, kind, steady, always protective without being overbearing. As he left that night, he pulled me aside and lowered his voice. "Are you okay?" I laughed it off, but he didn't smile. His eyes searched mine. "He looks at you differently," he said softly. A chill ran down my spine. I wanted to deny it, but I couldn't. Ethan had seen what I had been trying to ignore. After that, my father grew even more possessive. He questioned where I was going, who I was with, especially if Ethan's name came up. One night, his voice was low and sharp. "I don't like how close you are to him. Friends can become something else." Late one night, I walked past his door and froze. His voice drifted through the wood. At first, I thought he was talking to Mom's memory. But then I heard my name. "You came back to me," he whispered. My blood ran cold. A few nights later, after dinner, he placed his hand over mine and smiled. "You take such good care of me," he said softly. "Just like she did." I pulled my hand away, forcing a smile. "You should get some rest, Dad." But his reply sent a wave of panic through me. "You don't have to call me that, not if you don't want to." My heart dropped. "You remind me so much of her," he continued, eyes dark. "Sometimes I forget." That was the moment I knew I wasn't safe anymore. I stood abruptly. "I think I need to stay with a friend for a while." His voice cracked. "You're leaving me?" "I just need some space." He stood too, his voice rising. "You don't need space. You need to understand we're all we have left." Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. A message from Ethan lit up the screen. "Are you okay?" I bolted for the door. "Where are you going?" My father's voice thundered behind me. I flung open the door, and there was Ethan, standing on the porch, eyes filled with worry. "What's going on?" he asked. Before I could speak, my father stepped into the doorway behind me. His voice was cold. "This doesn't concern you." Ethan didn't move. He simply extended his hand toward me. "Come with me." For a heartbeat, I froze between them. The man who had raised me, now a stranger, and the friend who had only ever looked at me with kindness. Without another word, I slipped my hand into Ethan's and stepped into the night. My father didn't stop me. He just watched as I walked away from the house that no longer felt like home. In the car, Ethan drove in silence, giving me space to breathe. Finally, he asked, "Do you want to talk?" I stared out the window, tears stinging my eyes. "I don't even know where to start." "You don't have to," he said gently. "Just know you're not alone." His words cracked something open inside me. For so long, I had been trying to fix everything, to keep my father from breaking. But in the process, I was the one being broken. Ethan took me to his sister's house, a safe place where I could finally exhale. For the first few days, I barely spoke. My phone buzzed constantly, calls, voicemails, messages from my father, shifting from apologies to anger to desperation. I didn't answer. One evening, Ethan sat with me on the porch, his voice low but firm. "You didn't deserve that. You deserve to be free." I whispered, I thought I was helping. He shook his head. "Helping doesn't mean losing yourself." Weeks passed. I found a job, saved money, got my own small place. My father reached out less and less, and I knew deep down I could never go back. Some lines, once crossed, can never be mended. Through it all, Ethan stayed. Patient. Kind. Never pushing, never demanding. Our friendship slowly deepened into something more, something quiet, steady, and real. One afternoon, as we walked along the shore, the wind in our hair and the sun dipping low, he reached for my hand. His touch was warm, grounding. "You're free now, aren't you?" he asked softly. For the first time in months, I felt light, almost weightless. I let the breeze wash over me and whispered back, "Yeah, I am." And in that moment, with Ethan by my side, I realized freedom wasn't just leaving my father's house. It was finally stepping into my own life.